And welcome back. This is your man Warrior, and this is another patron roster review. This is LiquidForce18 from swgoh Guild Raiders. Now, he's mostly free to play, been playing for over 2.5 years, and this is what you can get from mostly free to play. That's right, 2.5 mil GP in 2.5 years, because you can get about 1 million galactic power per year. Now, he's not 100% free to play. There have been a couple of little $10 packs here and there, but like I said, mostly free to play, meaning that he doesn't make consistent investments into the game. Now, he wants to know about arena and ships and Zeta priority lists and who to farm and Sith raid and who should he push for. Should he push for Revan? Yes, okay, we're going to go over all of that. We're going to do it pretty quickly because this is only about a 12-minute video, so we're going to have to bust it out. The first thing that we're going to talk about today is ships, and right now he wants to get into the top 20 consistently. He does top 30 easy, top 20 kind of difficult. He's using this team. This team, for now, is the team to use for what you have available, but I did notice a huge glaring mistake in your roster. And I know a lot of people don't want me to admit this to them, but this is a huge glaring mistake for anybody who doesn't have them leveled up. This is an absolute must, period. If you're going to play the game and you want to have any competitiveness whatsoever in territory wars, territory battles, arena, anything, the Geos are an absolute must. These guys are going to chew through all the PvE content 100% easily, and you're going to be able to use them as an alternating team for territory wars, battles, and all of that. But in arena, even now to this day, I have people in a developed shard of 3 years still using the Geos to take down my Houndstooth. That's right. So I am telling you, if you don't invest in the Geos, you're just doing yourself a disservice, and you truly don't enjoy ships as much as maybe you think you do. So my suggestion to everyone listening, this isn't just to LiquidForce, this is to everyone that listens, is get your Geos in your favorites and max them out. This takes a while, so make sure you make them a top priority. You got to get them to gear 11 on the characters. That sucks, I know, but Soldier is you can get them to gear 11 without even trying. Spy and Sunfac are another story, but you need the Geos now and in the future. Make them a high priority because these guys are going to help you in every area of the game. Now, in Arena, you got a really great team, and you could even possibly do some modifications to the existing team you're using, but you really want to get into that top 100 and kind of stay there, stop falling out of the top 100. And I suggest to you 2 other teams you have easy access to that you've got that are even more meta than the teams you're currently using. And the first is Commander Luke Skywalker lead. That's right, Commander Luke Skywalker with R2-D2, Ezra, Han Solo, and Old Ben, or you could put in General Kenobi for either R2-D2 or Old Ben, but that team is totally overpowered, especially against the Sith meta. You can easily chew through with all the counters those kinds of teams, and where you're at in Arena, not even in, the top 50 yet, you're not even going to see as many really overpowered Sith teams that would shut that team down. So Commander Luke is an absolute awesome team, but I have an even better team when I'm looking at your roster, which is really, really insane. You've got a 7-star Gear 11 Bastila Shan, like what? And you got a Zeted Grandmaster Yoda, and a Zeted Ezra Bridger, and a Zeted Old Ben, and a Zeted Hermit Yoda, and a General Kenobi Gear 12, like what? You have everything anybody could ever ask for in a Jedi team. The only thing you're missing is a Zetas. That's it. 1 Zeta on Bastila Shan, and this thing takes you into the top 50 easily every day, and it is very difficult to beat. It's extremely annoying, and a lot of people are going to just go around you when they end up seeing this team. And this thing's just sitting on the sidelines. You've got to take this for a test spin. I'm telling you, Bastila Zeta lead for Bastila Shan, and you are going to be insanely happy about your progress in Arena with that alone. Now, you did ask, should you push for Old Republic? And I know that the likelihood of you actually getting to 7-star by the time the event ends is kind of unlikely, but I would venture to say yes, you need to still push hard, because 1, there's a slight chance of hope. We don't know how long the event is yet as of making this video, and so you got to go. And if you miss the event, at least you'll be that much further along on development for the next time that it comes around. So everything goes into Old Republic, all energy, all effort, all crystals, bust them out, and if you miss it, at least you'll be that much closer the next time it comes around. Now, you wanted to know about Zetas, and unequivocally, Bastila Lead is your #1 Zeta requirement. That's the one you got to focus on. It's going to change your world. But #2 is Bosk Zeta Lead. He's going to take your okay team to a phenomenal team, even at 4 stars. Zeta this guy and get him leveled up, get him geared up, you know, develop him in every way, shape, and form. Not only is he going to be good for your bounty hunter team and he's going to make your bounty hunters totally viable, but he's also going to help with ships because he has a ship that you have, and that ship gets better. The more he's developed, the better the ship gets. And remember, the Chewie event is coming back, and you want to get a 7-star Chewie, and so this guy's got to be your #1 side focus of anything. He's not going to be the main faction focus, but this guy specifically should be your #1 focus in the game, other than another faction we're going to talk about in a minute. And as far as Imperial troopers, they're looking pretty decent. You're about halfway through development, but General Veers is a distant but not too far off Zeta you should be considering. General Veers takes this team, which is really not that viable anywhere right now, to extremely viable immediately overnight by simply doing his Zeta. Yes, Gear 7, Gear 8, Imperial troopers become viable in many areas of the game just because of one Zeta. And once you invest that Zeta down the road, we know next month or two, you're going to find that you want to start developing your Imperial troopers. And I want you to start developing your Imperial troopers down the road. Obviously, you've got higher priorities right now, but these guys should be in the back of your mind for sure. Definitely similar to what we just talked about with Imperial troopers, first orders on the mind, and you should definitely get a Zeta on Kylo Ren Unmasked. It takes the team you're looking at right now from meh to definitely viable in every area of the game. That Zeta is absolutely amazing and is a necessary must for first order teams. Now, this team, as well as the Imperial Troopers team, are on a lower priority scale than some of the other teams we're going to talk about, simply because there's other teams right now that you need to focus on more. But these two teams are two teams you definitely should be considering, you know, in the next few months once you chew through and get your other teams viable. So now we're moving on to the Sith raid, and I know you don't do heroic, but you've got a lot of the teams. In fact, you're really only missing one of the teams, and then there's 3 other teams that you can kind of superficially start to work on after the fact. The first and foremost, most important team you should be working on is Night Sisters. This is your absolute #1 priority focus after the Old Republic comes and goes. Once the Old Republic event for Revan is over, you're going to focus on your Night Sisters for the Sith raid. Now, Night Sisters can be used in Phase 3 or Phase 4, and they're phenomenal with territory battles and other areas of the game. In fact, I see some of this stuff creeping up in Arena again as well, because the new Night Sisters zombie rework is really pretty good for Arena. But this is the team you're going to focus on #1 after Revan goes away and you've done focusing on Republic. And then after Night Sisters, you're going to move over to bounty hunters to kind of finish them off. And hopefully you've got Bosk as a side project, even while you're working on Night Sisters and even while you're working on Old Republic characters. Then you can move to First Order, and then you can move to Imperial Troopers. With that said, obviously, though, in Phase 1, you can continue to use a Jedi Training Raid team. You've got tons of development there. Your Jedi are phenomenal for Phase 2, and I only can speak on Heroic Sith, but in Heroic Sith, you can very easily, with what you have, get 3 to 4 million damage in that second phase. And for Phase 3, I would still use kind of a Chex Mix team, which is 4 Rebels plus your Death Trooper, which you do need to develop and work on. And obviously, once Chewie gets finalized with your Bounty Hunters, you'll be able to stick him in there as well. Remembering in Phase 1 with JTR, you can use Bounty Hunters as a backup squad to kind of clean up another 300,000 to 500,000 damage for now because of where they're at development-wise. The same thing, you'll take your Jedi in on Phase 2. You could take your First Order in Phase 2 to kind of get some extra damage. For Phase 3, you can take your Rebels, and you'll take your Imperial Troopers in maybe to get some extra damage. And then for Phase 4, you'll do Night Sisters, and then you can use the kitchen sink method after that. Just throw everybody that you have. So for ships, you have to focus on Geos if you care about ships. I'm telling you, they're absolute musts. I use them all of the time in all sorts of areas of the game. They're just crazy, insane good. They got the best synergy in the game, hands down, over every other faction for 3-ship synergy. For Arena, you're good, but you definitely have the CLS lead. You've got the Bastila Jedi teams, which are insanely amazing, and you've got all of the pieces but a Bastila Zeta, so put that Zeta on Bastila today. Also, push for Revan, try, go for those Old Republic, and then after that, you can, move on to Night Sisters. And in the meantime, obviously, you're going to want to focus also on the side project of your Bosk. The 4 Zetas I recommended were Bastila lead, Bosk lead, Veers lead, and Crew lead, with the Veers lead being the last. And for Sith Raid, you already have JTR, Jedi, Rebels. You need to start working on Night Sisters, and then your Bounty Hunter, your First Order, and your Imperial Troopers. If you do all of this, you're going to have solid teams across the board in every area of the game. You'll also be ready for when the Chewie event comes back, and you'll be ready for when Revan comes back if you don't, in fact, get him this time. If anyone has any suggestions for Liquid Force, leave them in the comments down below, and keep your gaming on. Warrior out.